What is up, my Gemini rising gang? Welcome to your 2026 year ahead. And we are going to, in this video, be going over 7 of the major transits that are going to be happening in 2026. The second part of this video is going to be Astro Dice. I like to, because each chart is so nuanced, your chart ruler is different than the other chart ruler, it's different than, that person's aspects can be different than your aspects. And so all placements have so many layers. I like to throw in probability with the Astro Dice to get a curated special message for those of you watching. So we're going to do that. Last but not least, we are going to pull a random page of this book. This is a book that has 365 days in it. So I'm going to choose a random page. That day is going to be a very important or very special day for you. And there's going to be a message of guidance in here as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So Gemini. Before we get started, there's a cutie down there. She likes to offer some free stuff. She's called the subscribe button, and she's giving free samples today. So if you like what you see or you don't see yours and you're wondering, Haley, where's my rising sign? You can hit the bell button or the subscribe button to look out for the other rising signs. Maybe you want to look for a friend, a significant other, a family member. Best not to miss it. You know what I mean? Best to and any other surprises that may come on. I really appreciate if you subscribe. Now let's go ahead and dive into your reading. So, first transit. As a Gemini rising, you have Cancer in your second house. And we've had Jupiter moving through your guys' second house. What does this mean? So midway through 2025, we had Jupiter entering the sign that it feels exalted in, which is Cancer. And Jupiter is all about growing and expanding. And it starts with the consciousness. So it really is changing our beliefs. It's changing our journey. We get different opportunities when Jupiter comes in the form of new opportunities, in the form of new guides, and in the form of a larger perspective of seeing where we've been, where we're currently at, and where we're going. So Jupiter rules over the Akashic records. So whatever house Jupiter is in is where we're really looking at what we've done so far, or skills that we used to have, or opportunities that we used to have, or the way that things have been. We're taking stock of where we're currently at, and we're also looking at prospects for the future. And Jupiter does this magical thing where in the second house, it really brings out our assets. It really brings out our gifts. So when Jupiter moves through the second house, I would not be surprised if, and with Cancer, this could really be, a little bit more domestic, but it does not have to be. So many people have so many different things in their second house. But typically it could be related to fashion, to food, to home decor, to creativity, to anything that you would kind of have in your home is a little bit connected to Cancer. So any of these skills could end up being a side hustle. I would not be surprised if Jupiter moving through the second house, that different skill sets and different talents were activated. Another thing too is the second house rules over finances, right? So this is growing our money. And there's many different ways to do this, but Cancer really likes to get to the nitty gritty. Cancer really wants to water, take care of, nurture the finances. So however ways you were doing that in 2025, if you did do that, and I just saw 444. If you have not done that, I would definitely just pour some energy into the finance department, and very much like the inside of our piggy bank, right? this could be anything related to finance. This could be, deciding to carry cash. This could be, money rituals and cinnamon sticks and bay leaves and kind of going to the witchy side of money. This can be, the spiritual beliefs around money, right? And just our own belief systems around money. When we have Cancer, this can be linked to generational curse breaking around money. We could be somebody too who's breaking karmic patterns with money. So I would pay attention to what you feel like you want to do with money versus how you were taught or what you've seen with your parents and family members in regards to money. So if you've had a family member that saved all their money, never wanted to spend it, and then it was too little too late to enjoy it, that might be something that emotionally touched us, that makes us want to nurture our money differently. Could be the opposite too, right? It could be that we had big spenders and there wasn't a lot of savings and cushions. So this is the time where it's also dipping into self-worth, right? Self-worth is the second house. Jupiter is asking us what we deserve. What do we think that we deserve, right? Do we think that we deserve a luxury car? Do we think that we deserve $10,000 in the bank, $100K in the bank? Do we feel like we deserve financial freedom? Do we feel like we deserve to have our own money? These are all the questions that are coming up, and it's very, very fruitful in the second house when Jupiter's passing through here. And the last thing I would say is the energy for 2026 too. If there's been like a luxury product or even just an asset that you've really been wanting, that would be an asset to you, like new equipment, upgraded wardrobe, or a different car, anything like that, definitely an auspicious time to do so. So if you have not made that purchase yet, or you've been thinking about it, definitely before summer of 2026, I would invest when Jupiter is direct. And the second transit's going to be Jupiter entering the third house. Now, this is a mindset shift, right? So the mindset shift is going to happen with Jupiter in the third house. Now, before we go into things sort of emotionally and we gain a lot of stability again, we go through, going from second to fourth, right? So the second house is security. The fourth house is our foundation. Those in between houses tend to be the more playful, fun, sort of up in the air, masculine energies, right? And so the third house is about actively changing our mindset. Now, this is in Leo, right? So this is going to be allowing for a mindset of going after what you truly, truly desire. This is going to be a shift in mindset that is going to allow for more confidence. This is going to be a shift in mindset that's going to allow for ego deaths, to allow the ego to be expressed in a healthier manner. This is going to be using our voice, like using our talents, using our flamboyancy, using our directness, using our bluntness, using our authenticity. These are some of the keywords that I would describe with a Gemini rising's voice. Gemini rising, it's all about the voice. It's all about expression. It's all about learning and collaborating, connecting, like bouncing ideas off of each other. And Gemini risings tend to have a very powerful vocal point of expression because Leo's in the third house. So if there's been anything that's been holding us back, we're accessing that. And we also may be making money from our voice, from our expression, from anything involving our hands, our talents. We may also connect with our people. We will feel very collaborative, very creative. So projects or writing a book, publishing is all with the third house. This can be seen in 2026, and it's not going retrograde until like the very, very end of 2026. So this is a solid run for Jupiter this year. Jupiter loves being Cancer. It's going to finish up there. And then we have Jupiter with the sun. That to me just sounds like so much fun. And I think the one thing that I'm telling everybody, no matter where Leo is in their house, is to just check ourselves. If we are performing for attention, or like performing from a place where it's not like secure within ourselves, or we are afraid to use our voice, or if we are kind of in this know-it-all energy, we just got to check ourselves. We just got to check ourselves and really, I would say, like a final piece of this interpretation, I would just say, when you speak from your heart always knows what to say. My astrologer taught me that. I'm passing on the wisdom. I have a Leo Mercury, so I kind of understand y'all Gemini risings. And let me think what else. Oh, short distance travel could be something that comes up in 2026. So I've heard astrologers say that the short distance travel is essentially within the same country. Or like, for example, I'm from the United States, so you get a gauge on how big that is. I've heard astrologers use the example that short distance travel can even be, California or Oregon to Mexico, right? Or California or New York to Canada. I just saw 1111 too. So many angel numbers. So I definitely think short distance travel could be something with friends too. Could be really, really fun. And just, it also just started raining. There's a lot of things going on. Let's go ahead and dive into the third transit. So the third transit's going to be Saturn entering Aries. And this is going to be in your guys' 11th house. It's moving out of the 10th house. So that's really exciting. You guys are wrapping up a cycle of your career. You guys are wrapping up a cycle with your legacy. So even right now, as I'm just looking at the chart, the 10th house in Pisces, you're extraordinary when it comes to your career, when it comes to getting along with all different walks of life. Very extraordinary in terms of the legacy which you leave behind. So I like to tell people that I view the midhaven, even though if your midhaven's not in Pisces, your 10th house is in Pisces. And the midhaven's known as the highest point in our chart. I like to say that when we die, right, and kind of the Tom and Jerry, like you just get lifted to heaven. If the midhaven is the highest point in our birth chart, I like to think of that as like the last thing we look at when we go, and that's our legacy, because the IC is our final resting point. That's typically like our final resting point when we pass away. And then that kind of talks about, the physical being left behind. And then I find that the midhaven is, this like very big spiritual dharma potential. And when it comes to your legacy really, really came alive. And Saturn was moving through the 10th house, so there could have been some lessons, some hurdles, and some non-negotiables given in terms of your career. So you could have left a job in the last 3 years. You could have really graduated some things or let some things go in terms of where you're headed in life and what you wanted to achieve. So for example, you could have finished up school. You could have, moved to a different department. You could have a career change. Like maybe we were just trying towards something that we felt like we should do, and then we kind of just let it go. Maybe we don't like the company's values that we were working for. Maybe that just wasn't fulfilling us anymore. It's going to be very watery. Like if it's not fulfilling, if it's something we don't agree with, it can be difficult for 10th house and Pisces to not listen to their soul, to not let their soul be deprived where they are working. So I think that this was an activation where we wanted to be very, very authentic about, who we want to be remembered as. Do we want to be remembered as somebody that said enough, that said no, that said this isn't for me, that said yes, that took that risk, that did that thing? So in 2026, we're in 2026 when I'm filming this, it's January 2nd. We're going to have Neptune finally leaving Pisces, and our career life and our legacy is going to feel so much clearer. We've had Neptune there for so long. And when Neptune leaves a house, the shadow side of Neptune is that it can cloud that area of life for as long as it's transiting there. It's where we don't see things very clearly, and that is very purposeful. It is what is like an example? Like, for example, A Walk to Remember. It's a Nicholas Sparks. I'm a Nicholas Sparks whore. And Jamie, or no, not Jamie. It's Landon. Landon says at the very end, you know, her love is like the wind. I can't see it, but I can feel it. Neptune. That's why Neptune's unconditional love, because it's like the butterflies and, you know, the coincidences and all of that magical stuff. And we really are keeping the faith, right? So we could have been tested in keeping the faith with our career, with how we're making money in our career. You know, Jupiter's been moving through the second house, so we could have been trying some new things. And I think that, you know, I think we're locking in a mindset. I think we're locking in a mindset of confidence with Jupiter moving through the third house. And then we're going to be seeing like finances and career very, very clearly. And we're kind of moving on to the next stage where things were changing. And we're moving into out of just like career and achievements, kind of like measurement based part of Earth and part of life, into the quantum, non-measured aspect of life, which is the 11th house. So Neptune and Saturn moving through the 11th house. The 11th house is the house of hopes and wishes, baby. It is. Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. It is manifestation boards. It is evolution. It is the self-help books. It is, you know, Delulu is the Salulu. That's a little bit more of the 12th house, but this Aquarius energy, the 11th house, you know, this is also, I love this house because it is measurable in a way, and it is measurable through timelines. So this is really like a timeline shift, timeline collapse, other timelines collapsing, and we'll know, and we can measure this by our state of consciousness, and also through who we are attracting in our life and who is leaving our life. So the 11th house is soul family members. It is people that understand what we are about. It is people who understand where we're going, people who already are representing who we want to evolve into. We tend to meet with these people, you know, kind of like this, if we're evolving and it's time for us to meet this community, to meet this group of people, to meet these fellow friends, we could be at a time where we were, as we're both evolving, we've reached a time where now we are aligned. So I love the 11th house for that reason. Of course, you can also tell just by the amount that our consciousness is raising. And when your consciousness raises, it's a lot of that is the 9th house too. Don't get me wrong. You guys have Pluto in Aquarius moving through your guys' 9th house. So in terms of expanding past what we thought was possible for ourselves is huge. I think that there is going to be major energy around, ooh, I love this. I just cleared this list. They all connect. I'm going to take my time. I have Uranus opposing Mercury, so I gotta stay on some sort of linear path. It's all right though, because my Mercury's trine Saturn. We got this. So, the impossible is becoming possible. Oh, that couldn't be me is becoming, well, why not me? And you know, with that being said, our wildest dreams and, you know, our hopes and wishes for ourselves we're going to be learning the lessons of letting things go in order to make space for that. And that could be groups of people. There could be, you know, my Geminis, where you may feel like, I can't take these people with me. I can't take, and you know, that's also Jupiter in the second. The second house is not just what we own. It's also, you know, people we're attached to. And so, you know, obviously our immediate family, obviously partners, other pets and things like that could be the second house. But yeah, 11th house. I feel like if we need to let things go, let them go. If they're not evolving with us, if they are, you know, at one point you did resonate with them and now you're evolving and your consciousness is expanding and it's just not, you find like they're holding you back from evolving, that's going to be, and I just saw 2020, which we all know what happened in 2020. It was a lot of evolving and a lot of adapting, and it was a lot of letting things go, right? And so that being said, we have that. And with Saturn there too, the new friends, new circles, new communities, even if, you know, it's like a old friend group that was bigger and it's just, you know, hanging out with like your sister and like her friends more, or it's like hanging out with family more, or you know, you meet somebody new or you reunite with other people. You never know who's going to be vibrating at that same frequency and who may be right surrounding you that you'll be magnetized to. So magnetizing towards our wishes and desires, there's a lot of possibilities opening up for us. And then we have, that's the fourth one is Neptune and Aries. I kind of went into that one as well, but I truly believe with Neptune as well, we could be finding people who are giving us a lot of unconditional love too, like people through other people and through our own evolution. We are letting go of our past mistakes. We're letting go of the times that we felt like we weren't evolving, or, you know, just being human. We could connect with other humans and their humanness, people who just own their humanness, who own their authenticity, who own their mistakes, their trials. And yeah, that's essentially all that I have. I would say vision boards, I would say affirmations, I would say binaural frequency at night, like anything, listening to music to manifest. Manifestation's just gonna be so huge for like the next couple of decades, quite honestly, for you guys, Gemini risings. And with the 11th house in Aries and then the third house in Leo and the 7th house in Sagittarius, like those are arguably three of the most auspicious houses in these huge, very powerful fire signs. So you could have just felt like, and then of course that's tying into the Gemini rising of like the need to express in this lifetime and learn and mindset and all of that. And I think this is really when that fire, that a true power that you know that you have, we're locking in different parts of us. You know, we're locking in the groups, the people, the mindset. It's really exciting. So the fifth transit is going to be the North and South nodes leaving Virgo and Pisces and moving into Aquarius and Leo. I also love this. We have so many energies wrapping up in Pisces. And the moon, the nodes are huge. The nodes are a very, very big deal. I mean, Neptune's also a really big deal. Like any subconscious planet is a big deal because we feel the shift subconsciously. If the subconscious rules over 90% of our daily actions, thoughts, and feelings, then imagine when a planet is that rules over the subconscious and it's an outer planet and a collective transit and it has to do with humanity. When we graduate from that and it moves into more of a masculine energy, not of receiving, but actually like going towards things, taking action. We've been in this feminine energy for a long time of just receiving and, you know, feeling and letting go, and a lot of reflection and a lot of, you know, trying to ground ourselves and grounding ourselves, not even just trying. I'm sure there's many who have, but now we're moving to this energy where it's like, just run, and your subconscious will lead you towards your desires, and we will have the opportunity to slay our fears, right? That's very masculine energy, is slaying the dragon and going to war and like slaying those fears. The subconscious is very much desires and fears. They live in the same place. So that being said, we're graduating with that Pisces Virgo energy. So you guys have had the South Node passing over your guys' fourth house. So lots of letting go of criticism with family dynamics, letting go of self-criticism, because honestly, shadow side of Virgo is criticism, right? And that like voice in our head that could really, really bring us down. Like sometimes it's a little too critical, and it's a little too persistent. And that could be the anxiety, that could be the kind of anxious thoughts. You may have been learning with fourth house at Cancer energy and then the Virgo energy, just discernment, right? Discernment. And if we do have a thought, like a negative thought, like a thought that just doesn't feel good, a thought that leads to another thought that leads to another thought, we could be learning discernment as to, we don't have to entertain every thought, right? Or just, especially with other people in our family, there's also just a breaking of family generational things with the South Node going through the fourth house. So you may have been called to take the high road, again, using the discernment. You could have chosen what battles you choose with your family behind closed doors. You could have also learned discernment and be just like exercising your gifts of discernment, depending on where you're at with this Virgo energy. And like protecting your privacy, protecting your peace. This could also be like really pouring into our home life, our family life, like really hanging out with family. That could have been like a top value for you guys this year with Jupiter moving through Cancer. And then the fourth house with Virgo was just the importance of family. And family could have just been something that made us very emotional. And yeah, also like this could have been something too, where if we have like been doing a lot of work around the house, if we've been, keeping a lot of things organized, let's say you're a parent, or, you live with multiple people and like you're in charge of a lot, or let's say you are the daughter or son and your family just relies a lot on you. This could have been very much too, where we were discerning as to, who to delegate what to. This could be making our life simpler, because we make other people's lives simpler and easier, making sure we get that. So we have that, and this will be the energy continuing. I would not be surprised if more emotional satisfaction, because I love when the nodes are about to finish up, because we have just went through a lot emotionally. It's a lot of taking stock, the nodes, whatever they are on the axis in our chart, taking stock of what is working, what is not working, and feeling really at peace with like whatever wants to leave, let it leave. Whatever wants to come in, let it come in. And if we are pushed to emotionally choose something or make a decision or react differently, we want to choose the thing that serves for the highest good of all people and involved, and the thing that we might not feel comfortable with, but it's going to make us grow. So, this is reminding me too with the North Node moving through the 10th house, like more things with career, more things with like, man, who do I want to be when I leave this earth? So for example, I would bet you a lot of Gemini risings. Ooh, this is good. This is so good. Okay. I bet a lot of Gemini risings decided to be the sober person in their family, or just chose sobriety, or took a tolerance break, or recommitted to faith, recommitted to a religion, recommitted to like that fine line between like sobriety and magic, also to rediscovering magic, allowing ourselves to kind of soften, right? And I think that too, the Anything Could Happen song by Ellie Goulding's like in my head. So that could be so. It's not done yet. It is not done yet. So what you're choosing to do right now, Gemini risings, in terms of in the realm of the legacy that you're leaving behind, who you want to be remembered as, so on and so forth. This is legacy building, and this was this was fated. This was fated. I do think you're breaking a lot of generational curses, or even like really focusing on one during this time, and you will be emotionally, and not just emotionally, but I find that the nodes can deal with health too when they're in Pisces and Virgo. So like putting our health first will be huge. And then we have Uranus entering your guys' first house. That's so exciting. Oh my gosh. Okay. Uranus has been moving through your guys' 12th house, which is such a layered transit. That is, well, I'll tell you too. So Uranus moving through the 12th house, you know, we're changing a lot of deep seated beliefs and a lot of deep things from childhood. We are releasing a lot, and we are also in the realm of, you know, there could have been a lot of letting go the last 8 years, just in general. Like, and I don't say this lightly. My heart is with you when I say this. There could have been some things that were really hard to say goodbye to, that we know that we just needed to, and it could have had to do with the earthly realm, like, you know, money or stability, love, pets. And I mean, this is something too where it could have been very unexpected, and it really was it could have tested us in that way, and our stability could have felt like sometimes it was a little bit out of our control, these external circumstances that were happening that were kind of shaking the security in the house or the security within ourselves or things like that. But it was the evolution there of what this was doing. Was it was upgrading our faith. It was upgrading our spiritual powers, our spiritual connection to things. So, you know, when I think of the 12th house, I really think of like Pocahontas explaining to John Smith that everything is living, and, you know, the circle of life. And, you know, I think about those sayings around, you know, your loved ones are always near you, of developing a connection like that, of exploring a little bit of the unknown. So like, and experimenting creatively too. Our imagination could have run very, very wild as well. And with Uranus finishing up in Taurus, this could have been to, you know, themes around sexuality and things like that. Just kind of like unexpected circumstances, events happening that really develop a strong, this was making us very, 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 very strong on a deep level where like nothing can shake us, nothing can phase us. And of course there can be things when I say nothing, you know, but it is that Taurus is very, very strong. And I know when we think of Scorpio, we just think of, you know, like, I mean, we think of Hades, the underworld, right? Like, they're not afraid of anything. And Taurus really is, you know, the angel that is coming back up to earth, that is choosing to enjoy life again, that is choosing to love again, that is choosing to attach again, that is choosing to do that. And so very, very, very happy to say, if you did any mental health work, you did any of that processing of letting go and restoring faith and, you know, accessing unconditional love, the upgrade is 100% up and done in 2026. You will not go through anything regarding that cycle ever again. Uranus is going to be moving, and it spends around like 8 years in each sign. So that was needed for the, you know, it had to go through Taurus before it enters Gemini. So now it's entering your guys' first houses, right? And with that being said, we have a brand new identity. We have, and you could have felt the peaks of this in summer of 2025 was when Uranus dipped into Gemini for the first time. Very exciting things. And Uranus could be like a total new life direction. And when we have the first house, we have the karmic new beginnings. So that being said, we let go of attachments, right? A lot of attachments. And now that has karmically cleared the way for just like a new life, a new direction. This was always meant for you. So, and Gemini has a lot to do with influence, right? So you could be starting to influence other people. Like that's part of the new path for you, is you influencing others. You could be doing something that is very trendy, something where you're making trends or you're expressing yourself, or online. Social media is the third house. You're writing things, you're putting outfits together, you're doing stage sets, you're completing your EP, you're anything in the realm of art. When I think of Gemini, of course, I think of Kanye West, for example. Like he had the clothing line, he had the music, he had or just a lot of artists, anyone who kind of dips into different things. Also thinking of Madison Beer, she has a Gemini rising, and I think that this is like her next era, for example. And so if you felt like it hasn't been your turn yet, Geminis, it is about to be your turn. If it felt like there was so much chaotic, unexpected forms of love and just or loss and just like a lot behind the scenes, we're getting out of that. We're just like stepping out of the closet fully and completely hitting the ground running. And so we could be redeveloping our style. We could, again, karmic new beginnings. Our worldview is also going to be changing. So, as the identity and the life direction and the way that we interact with the world changes, so does our viewpoint. So very exciting there. It's also going to be connected to the 7th house. So this could be expect the unexpected when it comes to partnership. Typically, when Uranus moves through the 7th house, whether it's opposing or it's, transiting, it will, wherever your status is when you start that transit, typically it'll be like expect the unexpected. And especially in relationships, like this is just Uranus in general when it passes through any area of life. If we said like, I would never fall in love with somebody like this, I would never date somebody who da-da-da, I would never want the lifestyle da-da-da, Uranus says, that thought came from somewhere, right? That thought came from somewhere, bet. Let's upgrade, because sometimes the very things that we say we never will do. That's why they say never say never. Uranus is a huge never say never placement. And so in terms of lifestyle or, different types of partners, different types of relationships, there could definitely be a lot of upgrades there, and it is going to evolve us. So we do have that. And then we also have Chiron that's entering the 12th house as the final and last transit. Chiron entering the 12th. So that's where a lot of the healing, this is just the healing of the subconscious. This is very much a redevelopment. And it's not going to take away from any of the development that you did. You have honestly been a rock star with Uranus and completely upgrading this house. This is when the beauty of the calmness, of the stability, of the security, of the lightheartedness, really, that's the healing juice. That's the healing power. With Chiron, we might have a little bit of triggers as we really lean into the new and we're letting go of the old. It might be something where it's like, oh, wow, I haven't heard that name in a while. And we might get into the little Pisces, reflective mode. But then we're going to come back into reality and say, this is here and now. Let's heal. Let's integrate. Let's do that. Let's feel what we need to feel and carry on. And I think that that's essentially going to be Chiron moving through Taurus. And then I did the exciting part about this, which went earlier when I said I got all these transits connected together, even starting from the first transit that we started with, Jupiter entering Leo, and then Neptune and Saturn entering Aries, and you just having Gemini, this innate power within you. This is when the self-worth is solidifying, like, or whatever you think you deserve, right? Relationship wise, money wise, career wise, friends wise, lifestyle wise, all of that. We are really, really training in that department. So we kind of open the door of self-worth. I deserve. Like, we just opened the door of I deserve, and we said, we're going to be adaptable and starting this new life. Sign me up. So that is all of the transits. Let's go ahead, and I got lipstick on here yesterday and she won't get out. I'm going to try because it's showing, so I'm going like this to hide her. Let's go ahead and roll the dice for you. So my spirit guides and spirit, my angels, please protect us as we roll these dice to see an additional astrological message for the Gemini risings watching. Ooh, nice. Okay, so we have the ninth house of, where is it? It's this one. We have the ninth house of expansion. Now, this is expanding past what we ever thought was possible for ourselves. Like, this is Sagittarius of just shooting the arrow. It's like when you kick a ball and you're like, oh my God, I went all the way over there. Like, go get it. That is this energy. Like, oh my gosh, the life direction went all the way over there. I gotta go get it. And we might not want to leave where we currently are, but the journey says, honey, it's time to live your life. And we have Mars in the ninth house. So this is like full speed ahead. This is raw. This is jump before you're ready. This is dive in. This is a sprint. This is like very much like destroying obstacles in our way of expansion. And we're going to have a lot of good luck when it comes to that. Like, when we just decide that we're worth it and this is worth it and it's time to destroy that obstacle, it's like our own inner brain expands, which is the ninth house. It is, once consciousness expands, it cannot shrink. So this is permanent progress, baby. This is huge in 2026. And then we also have Virgo. So Virgo energy is going to be very, very important. And Virgo energy is discernment. Virgo energy is organization. Virgo energy is paying attention to the details. Like, very much Mercury energy is the steps to make things happen. They're the messenger, right? So in order to get one message from the other, we have Mercury, writing, documenting things that are going to last. Really, really love to be in Virgo energy. So I do feel like you guys are going to be taking a lot of action towards new and expanding, towards things that last, and it's going to open up so much. So you also just have a lot of luck when you use your discernment, you decide what you want, and you go after it. So I love that. Baddies in this group. Okay, now we have Soul Guidance by Essence Rising. This is a pretty popular Instagram page. I got this in 2020 and I really love this book. So we are going to choose a page. February 14th is the page that you guys have. And so this is going to be your important date or a very special date for you. So February 14th. It says, love is unconditional and infinite. It is not bound to a specific day, time, or place. For the most part, you are that love. So do not let society determine when love can be celebrated. There is nothing auspicious about today. It is not connected to planetary alignments or cosmic energies. This book is calling out Valentine's Day. That's so funny. Mother Earth may vibrate higher today as everyone celebrates love, but that is all. Celebrate yourself and your loved ones today, as you should do every day. Create your own love parallels and define what it means to you when you'd like to celebrate the love vibe and where. Own your power of love and exercise your autonomy. And then the affirmation at the bottom is love flows through me and to me. Love is infinite and boundless. I am love. So that's so funny because we mentioned, Landon and Jamie from A Walk to Remember, and that was it. The we are wrapping up a lot, like the legacy of you being an unconditionally loving person and somebody who that legacy is just getting solidified. And I would also say too, Jupiter entering the third house, when we talked about when you speak from the heart, you always know what to say. And there's a lot around self-worth too, like you having the love in your hands. Like we don't have to be attached, right? To holidays, to whatever it is, to feel worthy or to kind of not have our autonomy in that way. This very much is, I think, I think too, there was another message in here really quickly. Let's just wrap up and just, defining what love means to you too. I think in the way that you express love too, this is going to be big. I think love languages, the way you express love. I think you'll gain a lot of inspiration from family members, from friends, like through the different ways that people love, and just a whole new mode of expression. And of course, a lot of autonomy too. With Uranus entering the first house, I would not be surprised if a lot of y'all are single or just like talking to people, but not like completely committed. And this is going to be a very, very, and we could have been, right? We could have been with Taurus in the 12th house. We really love to default to security, right? That's something that we need. But the love starts with you and the autonomy starts with you, and you decide. You're like the creator of your reality, right? I love that. I'm going to end it on that. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys got all the way to the end, put a little strawberry in honor of today's headband, and I'll know you're a real one, and I'll comment a strawberry back. And other than that, just take care, take it easy, and I'll see you in my next video.